Hello, welcome to my Let's Play of Darkest Dungeon. Let's check out the intro cinematic.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Okay. Make the most of a bad situation. Quests will be fail or must be abandoned. Heroes will die. When they die, they stay dead. Progress autosaves. Actions are permanent. Game expects a lot. How far will you push? How much will you willing to risk? How much will you sacrifice? There's always a fresh souls arriving at the stagecoach, seeking adventure and fame. Alright, so this game came out a couple years ago. I never got a chance to play it. I've always been meaning to play it. Got really good reviews from a lot of people. It's basically like it's a D&D, but H.P. Lovecraft inspired. You go through a dungeon with a party, turn-based. One of the cool things about this game, though, is that there's a lot of madness, and your guys get afflicted with negative perks. I haven't played the game, but I have read some tips and watched some how to play this game tutorial series on YouTube. And so I know the basics, so let's get started. Start a new campaign. There's 3 different campaign modes. There's Radiant, which is kind of a fast versions of the normal. It says this should be your first Darkest Dungeon experience, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the Darkest. Darkest is the original settings of the game, and there's no time limit, but the campaigns are longer. And then the last mode is kind of a time limit game where you have to defeat the evil within a certain amount of time and not die as much. Like, I think you have 10 deaths. So it's pretty tricky. So I'm going to do Darkest Dungeon. Darkest mode. Alright. Another cinematic.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell. But in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Okay, this is the tutorial stage. It's pretty short. So you're in a room, and you can move around with left and right, or clicking. Select the room you want to go to.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead. Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
So it's basically a turn-based game. This guy's active. He's the one that's going right now. Here's his skills. These guys, since they have these little lines, have not gone yet. So you can just click on a skill and then click on who you want to use it on. Each of the skills have what position they're able to be used from. There's 4 positions. The 2 back are missing. But you see the 3 yellow dots right there. This skill can be used in all but the last position, last right here. And it can affect the front 2 rows of dudes up to 4. It can't affect the back 2. So like this one, the pistol shot can't affect the front, but it can affect the last 3 over here. And so on. So it's kind of a position-based game of where you're in position and things can knock you out, or you can move forward and back. This skill, for example, gives a bleed effect. So if it connects, it will cause this dude to bleed. He resisted.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Got some gold. Take that stuff from the...
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Some stuff in the tent.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Try to shoot the dude
An
in the back.
ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
I can't do too much to the guy in the back, so I'm just gonna hit the guy in the front. You got stagger and push back.
Diminished.
Yeah, so this guy's got 3 HP left. He's taken 4 per turn, so he's basically dead, so I can focus on this guy. But this guy can't do anything to the guy in the back.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Trap chest. Got blighted. And what you're collecting is these heirlooms down here to upgrade your base, which you'll see in a second. Damage and Warrens. Damage versus Eldritch. Alright.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Activity log, and here's all the quests. There's tons of quests. The bottom set of quests are basically just get one of each type of dude and raise them to level 6, which I guess is the max. At the bottom, it's assault the darkest dungeon, And then there's a whole bunch of kind of defeat the bosses quest, I guess. So here's our hamlet. A lot of these buildings are locked. The stagecoach is pretty important.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
This is where new people come in. So there's 2 new people. These are the stock people that you get in after the
What
tutorial.
better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
So you can upgrade your stagecoach by spending deeds and crests. So I need 3 deeds and 4 crests to upgrade it to level 3. Right now it's getting 2 people per mission I complete. So I click that button, now it's getting 3 people
arrive,
per.
foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So as my dudes get incapacitated or too stressed out to play, I can dismiss them or cure them. And while that's going on, more dudes will arrive that I can use. 3 dudes will arrive right now. So in order to get this one, I need 9 deeds and 20 crests, which I have, so I'll do that.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this. Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
It's a graveyard where all your dead dudes will arrive.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
This is where you can watch all the cutscenes, which we don't have. And then all you can do is basically embark.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So we're gonna put all 4 of our dudes in the party to go embark on. These are all the different spots you can go. Darkest dungeon's the hardest dungeon, which we can't access yet because our dudes say, hey, it's beyond your experience. They're not gonna go there. This is the easiest spot. We have a quest here to explore 90% of the rooms, and it's gonna give us these rewards if we do that. All the other spots are locked. So we're gonna go here and provision.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
So here you want to take food and all this other stuff to prepare for the next dungeon you're going to encounter. So kind of the rule is, from what I remember, it's like take 8 plus some number of times the number of campsites, which we have no campsites because that's only for longer. I'll take a couple shovels, I'll take a couple keys, and we'll take a bunch of torches. That should be good. I think it... Yeah, you don't lose money by selling it back to them right now. So you can trade up and down as much as you want right here. So it's a short dungeon. And that should be good. You don't really need the rest of this stuff. One of the other mechanics in this game is this light level, so you can actually snuff out the light level. It slowly goes down as you walk around. Every notch it changes kind of the bonuses. As it gets to pitch black and the light is out, then monsters will surprise you a lot more and they get tougher, but you do get more loot, so it's kind of like adjusting the difficulty. So but if you keep it kind of bright, then you'll have a higher chance to surprise the monsters. And that's all I'll be doing until I get stronger. Give us a torch. We got surprised.
Executed with impunity.
These dudes live these corpses, which kind of serve as like kind of blocks.
Back to the pit.
Get that. Rearrange our position. Unlock strong box.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Keep going. These are all the rooms I gotta explore. I gotta explore 9% of them, so I can basically skip one of them if I want to.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
You'll encounter these kinds of roadblocks where you have three options: do nothing, use a shovel, or take it by hand, and it'll kind of take stress. The other thing to note that's different about this game is there's a health bar and a stress bar. That's that white thing that's accumulating at the bottom. As that builds up, the stress builds up, then you start to go, you'll get a different perk. You'll either get stronger or you'll get negative. Most of the time you'll get a debuff, and sometimes a bad perk that's permanent. So it's good to bring shovels to clear the roadblocks. Let's do some more torches.
The light, the promise of safety.
We surprised him, which is good. Try to get rid of this person. This person does stress damage.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
So this guy can't affect anybody except these front two rows. So there's nothing for him to do other than either block, protect himself, or start chopping down these corpses to move the line forward.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Got some food.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Stress damage, which is not good.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Scouting. Wasn't a very long scout, so we know there's a trap there.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Just gotta disarm the trap.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Trap.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
I need to heal that dude. That might have been a bad move. I think he probably would have died otherwise. Oh well.
Begone, fiend!
Let's see, he's got 4 HP. Yeah, he's gonna die. Doesn't matter what I do.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I'll have this person do it. Some holy water there. Heal the stress up. And in terms of healing, feed some food. Get this item out here. So he stole this stuff. No big deal. This guy has a perk called Kleptomania, prone to stealing items, which is pretty obnoxious. Known cheat, so can't gamble. -5 dodge. The rest of the perks don't really matter. The only one that's kind of nasty is this Kleptomania. So you also need food, because every once in a while there's this hunger check, so you gotta eat. Everyone has to eat, so you have to have 4 food. Otherwise, you have to choose this one, and you take damage and stress, so it's not good. So make sure you take food with you. Let's light up our way. Continue adventuring. I think there's nothing in this one, but there is something down here. Plague back to. Let's heal. Let's see. We'll heal him. It's fine. Pistol shot. Yeah, these guys can't bleed, so there's no point trying to bleed them. Stun. Could stun this guy, I think.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Heal her up. Smite these dudes.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Nice. So I don't have enough room to carry this bust, but I can just drop whatever. I guess the torches are the worst thing. Shift click. There we go. Quest complete. Whole bunch of stuff. So I can't meditate, no big deal. Bleed resist, that's good. Death blow. He's weak to death blow. Plus 15% healing skills while camping, that's good. Alright.
Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of means.
So those negative quirks eventually become severe, and severe ones cost more to remove in the sanitarium. First quest is done. So now we've unlocked the Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
Unlock the Abbey, which is the same as a tavern. It basically allows you to de-stress. So like this person's pretty stressed out. You could have her, for example, pray for that week for that much gold. But a lot of the tips online say don't even bother doing any of this kind of stuff, because these level 1 characters aren't really worth spending any time on and resources on. Like, if they get bad, you just dismiss them.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
So tavern's the same thing. You can de-stress for money. And you can upgrade the tavern to increase stress recovery for, these things, for each of these things, and get more slots. So you can upgrade those too. The most important thing to upgrade from the tips is the stagecoach. And then after that's kind of upgraded enough, then you upgrade the blacksmith and guild. Blacksmith lets you upgrade your armor and your weapons, as I understand, or get skills. And then the guild lets you get skills. Something like that. I haven't actually unlocked those yet. So here's our 4 new characters. They're all free to hire. So we have Vestal, which is good. That's the healer type dude.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Arbalist. It's kind of like a ranged class, looks like.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
A leper. So I understand they have a pretty hard time hitting. Their hit chance, their accuracy is pretty low. But if they do hit, they hurt a lot.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
And a plague doctor, and then we have enough to upgrade for heroes barracks. Other thing you can do is actually trade between these different types. You have a bunch of one of them. So you could trade like your bus for 3 of those. If you wanted deeds, for example, you could trade your shields for 3 shields for 1 deed, and so on. If you're short a couple. I need a bunch of deeds, which is going to require like 30 of these crests to get the 10 deeds. And I need 15 crests also. So I need like 50 crests, 660 crests. A whole bunch of them. Anyway, that's a good stopping point for the episode. We'll be back next time. Thanks for watching. See ya.